what we're trying to do, and we already have a team started, and please feel free to join us. There are several people who have joined the education team, Louise being one of them, Fred Evans, who's a former principal, as you heard, Lola Crawford, who couldn't be here today, has done a lot of work with parent groups and mentoring young people, and we are concerned about some issues quite passionately, and a couple of issues have surfaced, but we certainly want to engage as many people as possible to raise other issues. Some of the issues are around school leadership, how school leaders are trained, teacher sustainability, dropout data, and you've all heard that in most urban areas, which is a passion of mine, the dropout rate in many cities is over 50%, which is totally, totally unacceptable. So those are some of the concerns. I invite you to join on the team. We'll talk about other issues and how we can surface those issues. I guess my real dream would be to surface those issues as a group and really send them to Secretary Arnie Duncan, because his major issue has been around charter schools. This is a bigger thing than charter schools. So, Fred, do you want to add?
Oh, and it'll be on YouTube.
Or Louise is here.
Yeah, since I'm on YouTube, I was just very briefly. I worked in Montgomery County Public Schools for 30 years. I was a classroom teacher, assistant principal. I won't go through the whole thing, but my two most meaningful jobs, I felt they were all meaningful, but the two most recent were principal of a middle school in Rockville, Parkland Middle School, and then principal of Gaithersburg High School from 1993 to 2000. And since that time, I've been doing a variety of things, including working in Baltimore City, and saw another vantage point, so to speak, than what I had been used to for 30 years. And currently, I'm teaching at George Mason University and Johns Hopkins, training new leaders, which is a passion of mine. One of the things I do know, I know a lot of things, I think, but I think. But here's some stats that we forget about. We've got 15,000, at least 15,000 school districts in America.
Right.
So to have one model that applies to, I was just up in Portland, Maine, by the way, that applies to Peaks Island Elementary School, which has 50 students, and the same, and there was an issue up there, and I won't get into that, as the same as Gaithersburg High School, where I was when I left in 2000. We had 2,100 students, 85 countries represented, 45 different language groups, but 85%, I'm not bragging about this, we were lucky, we had the resources, 85% of the kids went to college. So those kinds of different extremes that we have to know about. There's not one size, I guess my major thing, there's not one size fits all. It's impossible to do that. But what is important, and then I'll finish, is leadership, who runs the schools. Right. In the next few years, in the next 8 to 10 years, 40% of your principals are going to retire in American public schools. That's the latest stat. That's powerful. And we're talking about the urban districts. Right. How do we sustain teachers? The Teach for America program is a great program, but the turnaround there is 2 to 3 years, and then they say, this is too much, I'm going to Montgomery County. I'll just use that as an example, and that's fine. But those are the kinds of things. I like a more honest dialogue about the real issues of education. And I'm not an excuser. I know we have problems, and we have problems with tenure and how do we remove ineffective teachers, but all that needs to be part of the discussion, and that's where I'd like to see our group go.
Okay, great. Thank you. Louise, do you want to? So anyway, please sign up. Please join us. We have nothing concrete in terms of how we're going to proceed. We're very open to people from a variety of views joining our team, and then we'll figure out how we're going to take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.